I like Sonic games, even ones that probably aren't that good. But I always thought Sonic 3D Blast was fun. Like, it's definitely not like if you go into it expecting, you know, the other Sonic games, it's not that. But for what it is, it was fun. Like, and for Sega Genesis especially, like, it had really great music. And it showed off some pretty impressive graphics. Like, the sprites in the game are really good. Like, you know, that sort of 3D looking Donkey Kong Country-ish, you know, wireframe almost modeling. Just really good, like, really good sprites, really good animation, frame rate, and all that crap. And also, like, the opening cutscene was like a CG rendered opening cutscene, which for Sega Genesis looked incredible at the time. Still looks really good.
How do you think it compares to, like, the other Sonic games?
Well, that's the thing. It's, you know, not anything like any of the other Sonic games. Like, they made a lot of weird Sonic games.
It's got
you
the
know,
Sonic characters,
racing games.
that's about it.
I mean, they kind of didn't they mess it up kind of because they like changed it from a side scroller to like a
overhead.
It doesn't really work overhead. Like the whole thing about Sonic is supposed to be going fast, really.
Yeah, and doing that, like, you can kind of get the character moving at a decent clip in it, but you can't really
Tell
go
where he's
fast.
gonna go because if you go too fast, you can't see that far off.
It's a different kind of game. The goal is, instead of just getting through the stage, you're supposed to kill all the enemy robots, and they have flickies inside, which are the little birds. You save the little birds, you grab them, they follow you around, and you take them to the goal ring, put them in, and then you win. But the reason they did that is because the Flicky arcade game, which came first, was the same concept.
Wait, there was a Flicky arcade game? Were you just talking about
that? Maybe.
Okay.
So in the Flicky arcade game, you're supposed to get, you know, the little birds, you grab them, they follow you around, you get to the exit, and you go to the next stage.
Okay.
And I kind of like that game, too.
Okay, cool.
Which, I guess, people don't like it either.
How have you, like, changed it? Like, I don't know, like, what was the problem with Sonic 3D Blast? Was that, like, even a popular game? Did people buy it?
I don't know. And it also came...
because it wasn't like the other Sonic games, I don't think it did as well.
It's that whole tirade of, oh, I want a game that's exactly like the one I liked, except different, except more, except... And then they just start... They don't know what the hell they want.
They're all crapping out the same generic game.
I don't know, maybe this could be a segment. Like, what's the state of Sonic? Current state of Sonic.
Bad.
Okay, alright. Moving on.
Moving on.
Now, So, okay, is that your favorite Sonic? What's your favorite Sonic game?
Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Okay.
Which I would
consider... It's got to be the best out of all.
I mean, it's technically two different games, but since Sonic 3 was going to be one big game and they basically had to divide it into Sonic and Knuckles anyway, I consider it one game.
Okay.
It's my favorite.
It's what the game was originally meant to be.
Okay.
And they divided it into two because they weren't quite...
So Sonic and Knuckles was the continuation of Sonic 3?
Yeah,
essentially.
They weren't quite finished making Sonic 3, so they basically cut the game in half.
Was Knuckles at all in Sonic 3?
Yeah, he was in the first Sonic 3.
He's like a bad guy?
He was the bad guy, but
protagonist.
Robotnik was like tricking him, making him think Sonic was the bad guy.
Why were these games good? Like, what, why, I mean,
they're
like,
fun.
I don't really play Sonic a lot, and they look cool. It looks like you can go really fast in them. But honestly, I don't really know that much about them, like, compared to, like, all you guys. Like, what is...
I don't know. Maybe it's a sort of thing you had to, like, grow up and, like, the right era where you had Nintendo and Sega, and you had Mario and you had Sonic, and that was kind of the thing. Those are two very different games.
Okay.
Sonic, at least the very first Sonic, which is the first one I played, was a nice alternative. Like, sure, you can run fast in that game, but honestly, in the first Sonic game especially, people seem to forget there wasn't a lot of running fast. It was mostly about the platforming, because the game had very unique physics, like realistic momentum to the characters and the movement. And it made for different platforming than something like Mario, where you jump in most Mario games, you can like control Mario in midair however you want.
You can't do that in Sonic?
You can't do that in Sonic, because there's more momentum to it. If you're moving forward and you jump, you're going to keep going. You can move them a little bit in the air, but it's not like stop, turn left in midair, and go
you're not
all the
doing
way.
U-turns in the middle of the air.
Okay, all right.
I think it was the first 3 stages in the first one where you could actually run really fast and just get through the stage in a few seconds.
And then basically the later Sonic levels were like not about going fast. It was about getting through the stage.
You had to avoid traps, get through weird little mazes.
There's
water
labyrinth, underwater labyrinth. That one sucked.
There was a few more stages after the first few that you could run fast in certain parts, but mostly it was about platforming.
Okay.
And then Sonic 2 came along and people realized, oh, we like the run fast parts because they are fun.
Yeah.
But there was a lot more of them in Sonic 2. And that's fine, but I think Sonic 2 honestly suffers a little bit because of it.
It looks cool, though. It probably made for a really good, like...
No,
it's great to watch.
Yeah.
It was still fun.
That's kind of where Sonic got its reputation for, like, hold left. Or hold right.
Hold right.
Yeah,
whatever.
hold right.
I like to hold
Move
left.
to the right. Go right. Where do I go? Right.
And yeah,
it's also just funny watching Tails die over and over again.
Tails always dying.
Or controlling him with a second controller and
then
just
making
sending
him die.
Yeah.
Hey, look, there's spikes over there.
Was Tails fun at all?
Yeah, it was fun to play as Tails because they're playing one player and the second player just has to pick up the controller and start moving around. Yeah. It's like, hey, look, there's a trap over there. Move him over in there and watch him get crushed.
Yeah. Or make him grab the rings. Make him fight the boss because he's invincible. Basically, if he dies, he comes right back. So it's fine.
Right. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. So, tell me about the Sonic lore, Jason.
How much time do you got?
Start from the beginning of the story.
Well, as I understand it,
let's do like a 5-minute chunk.
Jason, we've got all night.
Say as much as you can about the story from beginning to end. But start at the beginning, and I'll cut you off at 5 minutes.
We've got all night. Just tell the whole thing. Everything.
I'll cut you off right then.
You won't be here for the next 6 hours.
When I get bored, I'll cut you off, and we'll stop there.
That's the thing. There's different interpretations, I guess, about the story, about its origins, about how the characters started.
Okay.
Even in the games, don't they have like different ways that it supposedly starts?
No,
even
in the games there really isn't any story at all. Like ever since the first game, it was just like you could read the instruction manual, sure, and it just said like, "You're Sonic, stop Robotnik because he's putting animals in machines and bad."
Why was he putting animals in machines?
To take over the world.
That would work.
Why else would any evil genius do something?
Okay.
Take over the world.
Yeah. Well, okay. There's some stuff in there, but okay.
Especially the Japanese version, there wasn't much pretense to play the game. It was just like, here's a bad guy, stop him.
Right.
Which most games like that back then, that's their story, you know. They were
like Mario.
There's some
Mario Brothers,
is like, or there's some bad guy
animals
stuff.
that he was capturing. They look kind of cute.
Yeah, they were just little weird like birds and shit that he had just.
Are they part of the lore?
Not really. They're just
forest animals, squirrels, and whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, so they're like
squirrels,
rodents.
guinea pigs.
So like Sonic saved rodents. Is that the whole idea?
Well, they had rabbits,
small animals in general.
Rabbits,
yeah.
But yeah,
it has a deep meaning with the deforestation of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Did it have any sort of like... Okay, so anyway, what happened after it kind of got going a little bit? When the comic started, what was the lore?
Oh, God, the comics? First of all, which one? Because there's a few different comics, but if you're referring to the Archie comics that have been around forever...
Yeah.
Oh, that is a lot of stuff.
That's not the one where he likes chili dogs, is it?
Right.
Oh, yeah, it is. Like,
it is?
Okay. It pretty much... Sega's co-opted that since Sonic likes chili dogs and
that started in the
cartoon. I think it started, in the cartoons.
Okay.
And the comics used it also because the comic was sort of a continuation of the good cartoon, not the crazy bullshit one.
Okay. All right.
And pretty much, even in games now, they'll have like, oh, look, Sonic's eating a chili dog because I guess they thought that was cute and they co-opted that, so that's part of the lore now, if you will.
Okay. So, wait, hold on. There's some stuff that we missed here.
Sonic 3D Blast?
Wait, let me stop you. Okay, so we forgot to introduce everyone. Okay, so that was mostly talking Jason, who is a Sonic expert.
Don't say that out loud. People will hurt me for that.
And then we have Wes.
But yes.
I'm not an expert in anything.
Wes Doppelganger, who is an expert in
nothing.
Who works at a
place.
All right. That serves
food.
Okay. Food. And then Lauren, he is a Lauren Escobar.
Yeah. I'm me.
You're a guy with a beard who wears blue and works at a shall not be named retail place.
That is really big.
Yes.
Yeah, and he has a pretty fabulous beard, I must say.
And I'm me, and I do nothing. And I make videos, and sometimes I do some stuff. And
his name is Patrick.
My name is Patrick.
Yeah.
Pachinko. And and I do, and
videos and podcasts now.
And we're doing a podcast. Woohoo. Okay. And then, keep going. So, anyway, where'd you leave off?
So, Sonic 3D Blast was a game for the Sega Genesis.
What's the Genesis? What's the Genesis?
It was a 16-bit console made by Sega.
Was that supposed to be a biblical reference?
Oh, yeah. No, they call it the Mega Drive in Japan and Europe and pretty much everywhere. Like, America, I guess, thought Mega Drive wasn't edgy enough, so let's call it Genesis.
Yeah.
Okay, so anytime we have to refer to, like, say, more than one Genesis, we'll just confuse the crap out of everyone.
Yeah.
Hey, I have 3 Genesises.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on, one more
Thanks,
time.
marketing department.
It's time to do a advertisement for our sponsors. Paper towels, buy them. Yay. That was not funny. Go.
Oh, man.
I like paper towels.
They are pretty useful. So anyway, Sonic 3D Blast.
We're done with that.
Yeah.
No, I like it, and I want to talk about it more because I like it.
Fine, you talk about it.
All right, so yeah, it was fun. It was a fun Genesis game, but most people ignored it, especially since it came out later in the Genesis lifespan, you know, like later in the 16-bit console lifespan. Like, most people were looking towards, like, PlayStation, Sega Saturn.
Wait, I'm stopping you again. I'm bored. No.
I'm sorry. This is super important
I don't have anything more interesting to say. In fact...
Hey, Wes, hold on. Now it's your turn, Wes. Inform me about the Sonic lore.
But I have to talk about the Sega Saturn version. They put it on the Sega Saturn, and it wasn't very good.
What happened when Sonic went to the Sega Saturn?
So, yeah, they put Sonic 3D Blast on the Sega Saturn, and it wasn't very good.
Oh, okay.
It had horrendous loading times, and the music was all changed, which you think would be cool. It's CD quality music, but it wasn't the music from the original. The music in the original was great, and then they had like some weird new recorded tracks that were weird. The only good thing about the Sega Saturn version, it had awesome special stages. It's like Sonic 2, but way better because actual 3D, which is what more of the game should have been, instead of just, here's a Genesis game for Saturn because we couldn't make Sonic Extreme because we suck.
Okay.
Jason, can you hum just a small bit from your favorite song from the Genesis 3D Blast?
Yes.
No.
But we want to hear it.
Okay, moving on. Wes, hello.
What game are you playing?
What have you been playing, Wes?
I swear.
I haven't played a goddamn game all week. I've been reading comics instead.
Oh. What game have you been playing, Wes? Oh, I mean, hold on.
What's the last game you played?
Yeah.
The last game I played was Soul Calibur today, the first Soul Calibur on Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
With you guys.
That.
How was that?
Yes, tell us how that was.
Tell me the lore of Soul Calibur.
What the hell was that?
This is a sword and this hedgehog.
The lore of Soul Calibur is something like, I was defeated, but my soul still burns.
Oh.
And
I think you need to see a doctor for that.
Keelix's victory strengthens the soul.
Ah.
And there's an eyeball and a
Keelix's
sword.
victory makes me sad. I don't like that guy at all.
What was the other game we were playing? The Capcom versus SNK?
Oh yeah, Capcom versus SNK, which is fun, except
the other
that
game we played.
stupid fucking point system.
Is there a story to that one?
I don't think there's a story
Capcom
to any
versus
fighting
SNK.
game.
Okay, all right.
No, that's
It's just
I was wondering if
because.
they took the time to figure that out.
there actually is a story. Like, so Ken from
Okay, how did it go?
Ken from the Capcom Street Fighter side, like, he's rich, you know, Ken Masters, he's rich. And there's a character on the SNK side, Robert Garcia, he's also rich. Okay. And then both their families, like corporations or whatever, are like, let's hold a tournament with all the best fighters because we're rich and bored. So there's your story.
Awesome.
I'm amazed that only took a paragraph to explain.
Fighters never entered Street Fighter before. Because isn't that like a tournament for the best fighters also?
Because their projectile attacks don't go very far. Oh. So they can't compete with the Street Fighter characters.
Yeah, that's true.
Most of their special moves are really convoluted and shorter range.
They should do Dan versus SNK.
Yeah.
Well,
Dan kind of is.
Dan is obviously the best character in any Street Fighter game ever.
Right. He is the greatest Street Fighter.
Right.
That's the truth.
Well, his gi is pink, so that makes it perfect.
Yes. And he has big eyebrows and a ponytail.
It's not pink.
And
what do you mean?
No, I'm saying there's nothing wrong with pink.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with pink.
There's not. That's exactly what I'm saying. Actually, it's the best. It totally is.
He's always been my favorite Street Fighter character because I feel like Dan when I'm playing Street Fighter against everyone else here. I feel like I'm trying my hardest, but I still lose.
Well, you always feel that way when you play against Jason.
That's true. Even when I'm playing against you, though, or even Keith, it's just I just feel like I'm trying so hard and I'll never win.
Yeah.
So
struggling.
I'm Dan.
We're just shouting, do down forward, up, punch, left and right.
Wait, what was the first one again?
Down forward, punch. Oh, you're dead. Well, I tried to help you as I beat you mercilessly.
I'm just bad at remembering special moves. That's
down forward. Anything.
Well, I can do the down forward stuff now. That's about it, though. That's my limit.
Well, you got
switch to down back. Then it's really gonna throw you off.
You do it backwards, fancy pantsy.
Okay, what comic books have you been reading, Wes?
I've been catching up on all the comics that I was buying and not reading. I caught up on, well, no, I didn't catch up on, but I started catching up on Supreme Blue Rose.
Never heard of that one.
It's really weird, and there's dream stuff going on, and there's like quantum physics theories happening, and they're saying like there's a tapestry effect to the timeline, and when it gets to the bottom, it goes back up to the top and starts over. And apparently during this comic timeline, the time stream ended 4 months ago, and now it's starting over, and all this weird, crazy stuff is happening. It's confusing, but I'm starting to understand better now that I'm in the third issue.
Yeah, did you finish the Wild Blue Yonder?
I did finish Wild Blue Yonder. Yeah. I kind of thought the ending of that one was a little bit weak, though. Like, it was good, but there were a lot of cliche kind of movie stuff going on in there.
What was that one about again? That was like the Sky People or something?
There was,
yeah, the world's been destroyed
by nuclear
war
or something. There's a bunch of nuclear fallout, and nobody can survive on the surface. Unless it's like on top of a mountain. So there's like these little tiny communities on top of mountains, and then there's also just mining communities that live down in the crap shit world and are pretty much slowly dying from radiation. But they're
fuel for people.
They're mining the fuel for these airships that the chosen people are living in.
For fuel?
Yeah, and then there's this.
Wait, what do they use for fuel?
They don't ever say. They're just
fuel.
Mining stuff.
Oh.
So it's probably like, coal, gas, whatever.
Okay.
Probably runs on any type of fossil fuel type of thing.
Is there commentary on fossil fuel usage?
No, I think it's more of a commentary on nuclear war.
Well, they do mention that the fossil fuels are almost all exhausted.
That's true. And but the idea is that there's this mythical airship that basically, it's called the Forever Ship, and it runs off of solar energy.
Does it run forever?
Yeah, so it basically can't run out of fuel.
So all these other people running off of fuel in the sky are trying to find it and take it for themselves.
It would make a good movie.
Is there a ground? Do people hit the floor?
Huh?
It's all in the sky. Is there a floor?
They could fall off the
ship. They're
and
in the sky above the earth. What do you mean? Is there a floor?
I'm sorry. I thought it was just all sky.
No, but it's
the
cool
world
because
ceased to exist. It's now a gaseous planet.
The thing I really like about it is like the airships are basically like it's where everybody lives, but then they have all these little ships, like World War II style dogfights,
like fighter ships and stuff.
In these, some of them are just old airplanes, and then I think the judge has these new
like jets and stuff,
newer jet things that he's using.
So like the
Reapers.
bigger airships are like communities, like cities almost, and then people get between them with smaller
Yeah,
ships.
and then when they attack, they do these dogfights with the airplanes, and then there's guys with jetpacks, and they just use melee weapons and kill.
They're called the
they-
smokers.
Yeah,
yeah, it should be.
they kind of just jump from ship to ship, from like the fighter ship to fighter ship, and just bust in there and chop the guy's head off, basically. Or
It's pretty great. Like, I don't know, I felt like the kind of overarching story was pretty cliche in some parts, but the art was amazing, and
The artwork looked cool.
the action parts were really awesome. So that,
like I said,
it was a good one. It's
make
only
a good movie.
if you're interested at all, it's only 6 issues. It's really easy to find. It's
Cool. What is it called?
fairly newer.
the Wild Blue Yonder.
Okay. Okay. Hey. Oh, hey. Here's another segment. Wait. What are you playing, Lauren?
Well, I play all kinds of stuff, but most of my time just gets sucked into World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah. Are you still playing that?
Yeah,
Like a lot?
I've got, let's see, another 16, 17 days on my current time card thing.
Yeah.
I might give it a break when it runs out for a month or so.
Yeah.
Because I usually do that. But it's still fun. It's just boring by yourself. And it's like, even though I've got lots of people that play it, it's like they never play it.
Okay.
So they have accounts, they're just never on.
Or
Like
when,
me.
or they're on like during the day and
Oh,
when
Yeah.
I'm asleep,
Yeah.
seeing as I work nights.
Last time I played, it seemed like the community was kind of like if you'd party with somebody, they always just wanted to rush through the mission because they've already played that a million times before.
That's the way. Like some of the people I play with, it's like, even if it's something he's never done, he doesn't read any of it on the quest, and then he just relies on the mini map pointing him in the right direction.
Where do I go? Kill
And-
Thingo.
And then there'd be plenty of times where
Like
he'd
plenty
get
of
lost
dungeons or
on a
whatever
quest.
they are
Like,
with that.
what are we supposed to do? I went to this area, and it's like, well, if you had read the quest, you'd know you're supposed to use this item here. It's like, oh, okay. And it's like,
It's not only that, but the reading everything that's going on is what makes the game more interesting than go and kill 5 of this thing. Go and kill a bunch of these things until you find 5 of that on their body.
yeah,
Yeah, they didn't care about getting
it also gives you a
experience
reason
with
why.
it.
But it's like the Warlords of Draenor when that came out, and everybody's rushing into the new expansion, and they're just like trying to power through everything as fast as possible. So it's like, oh, I'm the first to reach level 100. It's like I'm walking through and I'm just like literally stopped and just looking at like all the plants and the environment, because it's just so super detailed and just amazing to look at, and everybody's just like running by it, totally oblivious to what's around them.
Yeah.
And there's like all kinds of things, like they added in just like little things that you on the ground that you can find treasure and items and stuff just laying around. Everybody's just like running past them because they don't even stop to look. And it's like, I just, hey,
Everyone
look,
rushes
what's
through.
that? Huh.
Like a lot of people really just like to level, I guess.
Yeah, that's
So,
the
like,
whole
you're
thing.
about
And it's
end
like,
result.
I mean, I've been playing since the new expansion came out, and I've only gotten 2 of my guys to level 100. And I've got 2 other guys that are almost there, but I haven't bothered to actually level them all the way yet because I'm, just busy running around finding stuff.
Do you have any friends that still play World of Warcraft?
There's one that actually plays, but he doesn't have a job now, so he doesn't have like anything else to do. So,
Yeah.
but even then, he might occasionally is online when I get home from work, but he's usually like just about ready to get off, or maybe we might run one random dungeon, but.
Okay.
Even the last time I played that, whenever I get in a group or something, and with like 6 other people do one of those dungeon things, because otherwise I play that game by myself, because fuck people. Please listen. Everybody. But at the start of the dungeon, you get the quest from whoever, right? I'm sitting there like reading their paragraph about like what to do, why, what, everything,
And everyone's
just
like
run
running
off.
ahead,
It's like,
yeah.
well, great, I can either just hit accept and go without knowing what I'm doing, or sit here read all this, and they're gonna already get through the dungeon and kill everything. It's like, why even bother? And then I didn't play for like a year, and now my computer's so old and funky that it barely it can run World of Warcraft still okay, but when I got to that new Panda place or whatever, it went so slow. Like, the frame rate was like 1 frame a second, and it's like, I can't do this.
Yeah. They keep upgrading those graphics.
I could probably play it on my new computer, but
my favorite
on there.
My favorite part of playing with you, Jason, was just seeing you type things like Teedle.
That's a good thing to type.
Just
Teedle is always a good thing.
seeing you type all the things that you say in real life. I could just imagine the character being you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Most people just type their bizarre acronyms like KFDL5, and it's like, what does that stand for? Keep away from my fucking doodle. It's like, what? I don't speak fucking internet short talk.
all the
If I'm
abbreviations and
gonna
everything.
talk to someone, I like
stuff.
typing out a complete, well-written, grammar-y sentence that's good.
Grammatically correct.
I can talk good. Teedle. But no, I would like to actually like sit there and I'll capitalize the sentence, make sure it's a complete sentence, type it out. It might take a few seconds longer, but I'm not Mavis Beacon, but I can type it out okay, and everyone else is just like acronym, and then they run off, and it's like, you're all schmucks.
That's
No wonder
the
I
thing.
play by myself.
You have to find people who actually want to play like you, and there's hardly anybody who wants to, take their time to just explore and experience.
Right.
I remember when I first started playing Dark Age of Camelot, it was kind of... It wasn't like during the beginning of the MMO era, but it was...
Well, that's kind of
it was still towards the beginning of it.
Early
during
time.
the
That's about
early
when
age.
Warcraft came out, right? I think
And-
What's Dark Age of
2004 or something.
Dark Age of Camelot, it's like all the other MMOs, like an EverQuest kind of style, but
It's not
there's-
like Ultima Online where it's like an overhead view, sort of.
No,
it was actually 3D.
It was a 3D
Okay.
with a behind the back perspective and all that. It had 3 different continents. Each continent had their own set of races, and each one had their own version of classes. Like, they didn't share any classes. There were some that were similar, but there were some differences to them. So there was a ton of different options, and then you had the big battlegrounds between the 3 continents where you could fight other
you go
players.
kill everybody.
Yeah.
But the thing I liked about it back then was there were whole servers that were dedicated to role playing characters. Like, if you wanted to go in and completely roleplay your character and not talk about anything in the outside world, you could do that.
Right, and that's what
Yeah, they got a
happens.
couple of
but
them.
there
They
were
got a
also-
couple of those in World of
Right,
Warcraft,
no
but
one
I
does
don't
that
think
in World of
anybody
Warcraft.
really does it.
Yeah.
How would you roleplay in World of Warcraft? Like, what the fuck is like?
Well, they got all the emotes and stuff.
Here's the
they
thing
use
about
and all
the
that.
servers back then is they were full,
Mhm.
and there were people that actually wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to do that, you could, and there were other people that would do
really
it with you.
committed to it. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't happen in World of Warcraft.
Yeah, not anymore.
and then
now
there's
it's
I'm
just
just
like
worried about gaining levels.
now,
I want to see
it's
that
just
number
people
bar
going in
go
there
up.
and
I
trolling
want the
trade
best
chat. And how
weapon.
offensive can I be on trade chat before I get banned?
Sometimes when I
Yeah.
play on the other servers, sometimes I just use the game as a chat room. We just
Yeah,
sit our characters down and talk about whatever.
That's
for
what
a
most
while.
people do now on World of Warcraft. They just sit in a city and just talk total shit to people, and it's like they purposely try and offend people. Some of
Well,
the stuff on
yeah,
there.
it wasn't
remember
like
some of
that.
from Nox. They had just like a room that you're
Yeah.
controlling the character, but it's like a waiting
Yeah,
room.
it was
Basically,
like
you
a
just
waiting
talk to
room, and
each
you
other.
just
There was
stand
no
there
fighting
and
or
type.
anything.
Wait, what kind of thing was in Nox? What was the?
Well, in Nox,
There was
like,
like a multiplayer thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you
had
had the
multiplayer Nox.
deathmatch multiplayer, but
Okay.
the main thing that was good in Nox for multiplayer was
Is
the
the-
co-op.
yeah, the quest
And
mode.
The quest mode
was it
was
sort
like
of like Diablo?
really,
Yeah, it's
it was
basically a-
Diablo.
it
was the same
overhead
style of-
click.
yeah.
and
It was the
click
same
it
style
where
of
you go.
multiplayer, though, right?
But yeah,
yeah, sort of, yeah.
you just run around and you got to get through these massive levels because the quest mode, the levels were huge, and you had to get through them and destroy all the generators that produce enemies and get through
Kinda
and
like
whatnot.
Gauntlet.
Yeah, a lot like Gauntlet, but
Because there were no monster generators in the normal single-player game. It was something they just had for multiplayer.
I mean, they had like 10, 12 different levels, but after a while, you just keep going through the same ones over and over and over. You start to get bored with it, and then the fact that it just gets harder every time to the point where you have to have like lots of people just even make it.
like, oh look, it's the forest
And it's
again, but
like-
I'm level 50 force level, so it's going to be super hard, and I need lots of dudes or really good equipment. That was one nice thing when people started hacking the game, like with Diablo, like they could hack it and give your character like a super ultra sword that kaboomed everything on the screen to death. And sometimes I play online with some weirdo who hacked his game, and he's just like, "Here, take this sword," and it's like super crazy, wacky. It's like, wow, thanks.
It kills everything.
I never hacked the game. I didn't know how to do that shit. So,
I actually downloaded that when I just about towards the end. I started before I stopped playing Nox. I actually downloaded a thing that allows you to hack it and edit the items to whatever you want.
When I played,
but I got bored of that real quick.
When I was still playing the first Diablo, you would download. You called them trainers. It was basically a program that would hack the game for you. It was pretty limited. Like you could max out your health, and you could actually go into. Basically, you'd have to be in the game, and if somebody else was in the game with you, you could go out to the trainer and go through their inventory and basically export any of their items into a file on your computer, and then import it from the computer back into the game in your own inventory.
The ceiling.
So you could, like, you were
you're basically copying what they have.
You were copying their item. You were
it.
copying their item as a file and would store it on your computer, and then you could go back with any of your characters and get the same items. And it was fun to mess around with. But
people just used to like put characters on the houses and like look at all the cows and
you go into a game.
Cow level.
You go into a game where like somebody actually was able to hack the game, and they would put the NPCs on top of roofs or multiply them by 100 or whatever.
Stay and listen for a while, and there's like 10 of that dude.
Yeah, but I remember my first experience with Diablo. Scotty came over, and he had a burned copy of the game from one of his friends, and he said, "Oh, you have to try this game. It's so cool. You can go down into the dungeons with somebody and then kill him." So basically what we did is we would we'd say, "Oh, let's kill monsters together." And we'd lure them down a couple levels, and then you just hit the button for
friendly fire.
Fire or whatever, and then you just start killing him.
Awesome.
And we killed this one guy, and then, "Why did you do that?" "Oh, I accidentally hit that button. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's go kill monsters."
Yeah. No,
And then we go kill monsters for a while, and then we just kill them again.
Oh, sorry.
I think we killed the same guy 3 different times before he cottoned on that we were doing it on purpose.
I went cottoned on.
That's what I liked. That's what I liked about the first one is you could hit that button and they'd have no idea. But in the second one, if you hit that button, it would warn them that you were hostile towards them.
Oh yeah. Oh,
but
so it had a system.
You could also be hostile in the second one. You could be hostile towards only one person if you wanted.
Oh yeah.
Like instead of you could have like a clan battles, like 4-on-4 type of battles.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was okay for that, but I didn't like that it warned in my life. It's fun sneaking up on them and just murdering them without them knowing you're going to do it.
Oh, we killed all those monsters. By the way, I'm going to kill you.
Shank.
It was just fun. I don't know why.
Sorry, my
Sounds
finger
awesome.
slipped repeatedly.
You can come up with all sorts of new excuses to like try to get the person, like see how many times you can convince them.
The cat jumped on the keyboard. I'm
really
sorry.
sorry.
The cat just got on there and killed you.
Brother did it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yeah.
There was this trap that people had come up with where they would go down to a dungeon and they'd open a town portal.
Yeah.
And then when somebody came in, they'd say, "Oh, come down and fight with us. We opened a portal for you."
Yeah.
And then as soon as you came in, one guy had like a mega death sword and he'd just kill you. And then before you had any chance to resurrect back in town, another guy had a resurrect scroll and he'd raise you back from the dead. And then they just keep doing that over and over and over again until they just got all your gold. Which it didn't make sense because gold was pointless by that time.
Yeah.
Because you could... There were so many ways to get gold with trainers or with the duping glitch.
Yeah, if they can do that, they could just use the trainer to give themselves as much gold as they want.
Yeah, but I think they were just doing it for the hell of it, just because it was funny.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reminds me. Like, I used to love doing that kind of stuff. At least with like StarCraft, just me and my friends would like do multiplayer games where it was like a three player free for all, and like they wouldn't know that I was actually like just friends with the guy sitting right next to me that was on the other team.
So you team up.
So the two of you would team up on the other
We would
game.
just start up. We would pretend to fight each other for a while, and then we would ally and just smoke the other guy real quick.
That's
and,
pretty
like,
great.
It was really dumb, and like obviously like it wasn't very challenging. But that was the point.
That was the point. Is just to screw.
It's an asshole simulator.
Just to screw somebody else over. That's the
It's
point.
just to ruin someone's day for a little bit. Right?
Yeah.
If you typed in "there is no cow level," you'd skip to the next stage.
You could really play with it too. You could like ally with the other guy a little bit.
Oh, that was another scam. I can't remember what the button combination was now. There's another scam that people were doing in Diablo 2.
Yeah.
Like Diablo 1 had a glitch where you could duplicate an item,
Right.
where you'd throw the item you want to duplicate on the ground and walk away, and then you'd click on it and your guy would be walking towards it to pick it up.
Right.
And like the second that he's about to pick it up, you select an item in your belt,
Yeah.
and that item in your belt turns into the item that you were picking up.
Oh, okay.
It's just a weird glitch in the game that people figured out.
Yeah.
Um,
That sounds awesome.
and then there wasn't one, as far as I know, in Diablo 2. But there was a scam people were coming up with. They were like, oh, I know it. I figured out the duping glitch for Diablo 2.
Yeah.
And they'd have you throw the item on the ground
Yeah.
and walk away and hit a button combination. I can't remember what it was on the keyboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah.
what the button combination did is it would just exit you out of the game.
Mhm.
Oh, it'd be
Like,
like Alt X.
Yeah, something like
Control
that.
X or
And
Control
so,
Alt X.
so you fall out of the game and your item is still sitting there, and,
And they just take it and
they go
walk
grab
off.
it. Yeah, or I think they usually told you like you have to put it behind this specific rock in town or something,
Yeah.
so they'd know where it was.
Oh wow.
If you leave the screen, come back, there'll be two of them when you pick it up and hold the control button. And you come back, it's like the guy already stole it.
Yeah, or it was some button combination where it dropped you out of the game completely.
Yeah, like Alt F4.
Something like that. Yeah, I can't remember.
All right, I'm gonna take a break here and just go to use the facilities, and also I'll let
pooping.
because yes, I want to go next. I
You
want to be the first one to go.
Should
to
we?
Cards
Should we?
And,
Be the poop czar.
You guys
We'll
can
just
keep
keep
talking.
talking.
You guys can keep talking, and we've been going for 40 minutes. So I don't know
Wow.
how you guys want to go, but it actually has been 40 minutes. So.
Whatever. Let's just keep
All right.
talking till we're bored.
So Sonic 3D Blast.
I think that's a thing that we shouldn't talk about anymore right now.
But it's fun and I like it.
Oh, shit.
Okay,
And
tell
I'm
us.
sure there's a good chance at least one person out in internet world will be like, it was fun. And then, hooray. My
I'm
job is
sure.
done.
I'm positive that there's at least one other person that liked that game, Jason. I haven't played it enough to actually have an opinion on it, though.
I
it's
used
really
to play it, but I think I beat it like
It's fun.
half a dozen times. But yeah, I didn't play it all that much. It was fun, but yeah, it's nothing like any other Sonic game. That's why nobody else liked it.
What about Sonic Spinball? Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Well,
I
true,
like Sonic
that was another
Spinball.
one. That
It's fun.
Sonic game wasn't like any other. Just
They
There's a
basically
Game Gear version and a Genesis version, and I like them
they
both.
basically took that casino zone from
from
Sonic 2 and
Sonic 2
made a whole
and
game
made a
out of
whole
made a game out of
which
it.
is fine.
I actually like the boss battles in that game. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, they had some pretty weird ones. It was fun because, like, they had pinball video games. It's just like pinball. And the fun thing about Sonic Spinball, since you're controlling Sonic, like, there's points where he's just on the ground, you're walking and jumping. But mostly you're bouncing around like a pinball, controlling him with flippers. But because you're controlling Sonic still, you can hold left and right in midair to sort of
Yeah.
direct his path. So it
It's
wasn't like
sort of
pinball.
like Tilt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't
real
like
machine.
pinball where you had to hit him with the paddle and hope he went where you wanted. Like
You
you
could
could
actually,
influence
yeah,
his movement
control
and
it a little.
made it easier to get to the things you wanted. And it was cool because the levels had a lot of goals. Like you got to hit these 3 switches and it'll open the door to the boss chamber, or get all the emeralds. Like there was a lot of fun little things to do. It was more interesting than just like, here's a table, get a high score.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's really
I
fun.
guess the biggest problem is all the emeralds were blue.
Yeah, that was the thing that bothered me. It's like, why are all the emeralds blue? There's only 4 of them and they're blue. Why?
well, it was kind of like the Pokemon pinball. The whole point was to do all the things to make a Pokemon appear and then catch it, and it was a pain in the ass
And it
trying
kept
to get them
track
all.
of
What
which
was
ones
that?
he caught, so it was.
What was that awful Mario
talking
pinball game?
Oh, what was that?
We were talking about
Mario
Sonic
Ball.
Spinball.
I think it was called Mario Ball or something.
Wasn't it on Game Boy or something?
I think it was on Game Boy Advance.
What's the lore of Sonic Spinball?
Someone looked at the Sonic 2 Casino Night Zone and went, we should make a whole game out of this.
Yeah.
Was it a good idea?
That was fun.
I think
thought
so,
it was
yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Because I like pinball games, but
Yeah.
being able to control the actual ball, in this case Sonic,
Right.
means you can make some shots that are tough, like, oh no, I didn't hit it in the right spot. Now I can hold left in midair and make him move to where he needs to go. So it's a lot easier than a real pinball table. You can actually do things.
Unless you're strong enough to.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Move the
lift up
table
the
around.
table,
Right.
and then it'll just tilt on you. But it was fun. I like those. The Game Gear version also was all right for Game Gear, but it's kind of shitty compared to the Genesis version, as was usually the case.
Yeah.
Unless they made a brand new game specifically for the Game Gear or Master System or whatever.
Yeah, they like Game Gear Shinobi was its own game. Apparently, there was a Game Gear Shinobi 2, which
Really?
I still need to play more of that first one because Shinobi games are great.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Shinobi game?
Probably,
The one with the dog.
yeah. I played that one a lot. Shadow Dancer. I also like the other one.
What was the Shadow Dancer?
There's Shinobi
Oh,
3, but there's also
Patrick, you're getting a phone call.
Revenge of Shinobi.
Oh wait, actually I am. Hold on. You guys keep talking.
Yeah.
Oh. He's gonna go take that phone call and probably.
Hello.
It means
Well.
pooping.
You can probably still hear him talking and saying, "Hey, what's up?"
If you can, you win a t-shirt. Just mail what he's saying to... No, don't actually.
To that fake Hulk Hogan website.
Yeah, www.com.w/fucking-Hulkman.
www.com/fucking-Hulkman.
www.com.w/com.w.click. Speaking of unconventional Sonic games, Sonic R. It's a racing game.
No, that one I don't like at all.
Ah, you're not fun. I like it.
I don't really care much for
The
racing.
music's great.
That one's so hard to control, though. It's so rough.
Yeah, the first time I played, it's like these controls are really slidey and weird and strange, but once you get used to them, it's fun. Like, it makes me wish there was more of it. That's the problem. There's only 5 stages, and honestly, they're kind of fun to explore because it's not like just like a Mario Kart course, go around in a circle. There was a lot of hidden paths. It's almost kind of like Beetle Adventure Racing, where you had to find all the secret paths with like little crap to pick up. It was a lot of fun, but I really like the music too.
Beetle Adventure Racing, that's not Beetle Battle, is it?
Yeah,
No,
or,
it-
well,
it's on the same game. It's
the
the
same
N64.
Oh,
Yeah,
is
the
it?
N64 Beetle.
Beetle Adventure Racing was what it was called, and the
And
Beetle
Beetle
Battle.
Oh,
Battle.
Beetle Battle is
Is
the
the
that
multiplayer.
version of the gameplay.
Is
Okay.
yeah, that was the
multiplayer
4-player
mode.
like deathmatch mode.
Just every time you brought it over, you called it Beetle Battle.
Beetle Battle.
So that's what I thought the game was.
Because, well, yeah, that probably would have been a better name. But it basically,
Yeah.
like, I call it that because the 4-player mode, all you could do is Beetle Battle. They didn't have like a 4-player race mode,
Which would
is
have been
dumb.
cool, but yeah, I can see it not being on the N64, being able to handle 4 people doing it.
Which is the same thing they did with San Francisco Rush 2049. On N64, you could do 2-player races or 4-player battle modes or stunt mode or,
Or
whatever.
stunt mode, yeah.
But not 4-player races. Which is why I got the Dreamcast version. It's better because it has a 4-player race mode. And
Although the stunt mode is pretty amazing.
the stunt mode is a lot of fun.
I like
We should play that
what-
again.
it's San Francisco Rush 2049. That's the one with where you have the wings and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that version of it the best for the stunt mode, I think.
And I never played the other ones, like... I know Patrick's got normal San Francisco Rush or something for N64.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's a fine racing game, but I never really played those, so I don't really have an opinion about them.
Yeah, I think it's a solid racer, just like the other one. It's just the stunt mode is more difficult because you don't have the control with the jet wings and whatever. I don't know.
I do like Sonic R. It has some great music. I like singing the music.
Yeah, I remember we first the first time I played Sonic R with you, you just started singing the songs, and I was confused and didn't know what I was doing, and kept running into walls. And
I'm just singing.
Yeah, the most entertaining part to me was you singing along with the songs.
Yeah, because...
And I was just Amy in a car hitting walls.
Well, yeah, you shouldn't have picked Amy either.
Well, I don't know why I picked Amy. I think it was just because I felt like being in a car, and she's the only one with a car.
Yeah, Robotnik's got his flying thing, but yeah,
it's like more of a hover thing, so he doesn't have a disadvantage, or so he doesn't have an advantage.
They've had Sonic racing games where he's in a car, like that Game Gear Sonic Drift and Sonic Drift 2. They're all in cars, which, you know, makes it just a car racer. And also that Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, or whatever the hell it is that I have for the Wii U. It's the same concept. Everyone's in a car, including, you know, Sonic and stuff, which is like, well, why isn't Sonic not in a car? Because he'll run faster than everyone. Well, that's the point. He can run faster than everyone, so him being in a car racing makes it fair for everyone.
Yeah. I guess the Sonic racing game that came before that would be the Sonic Drift games.
Yeah, Sonic Drift came out a long time ago on Game Gear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that was the thing. Like, Sonic R, Sonic and most of them were just running, which is fine, but it's like Amy's hella super slow, so don't use her.
Somebody didn't like her.
Even though she's in a car, she's still super slow.
Yeah.
It's like, let's find the slowest car I possibly can and drive it in a race.
Compared to Sonic,
I bet it's one of those pedal cars. Like
it's just running with her feet.
To, like,
where it's got the little bike pedal things that move the front tire.
It's just like a bicycle that looks like a car.
Oh man, yeah. Did you guys ever have a Power Wheels or anything like that?
No, but we always had like relatives or friends that had a Power Wheels sometimes, and we'd be like, "Oh man, you got a Power Wheel, sweet!" And it was cool. And by the time we were old enough to possibly afford one, we were too big to ride in them. It's like, damn it.
My dad, I know he didn't buy it new because we never could have afforded a new one. It wasn't even Hot Wheels, actually. It was like an off-brand, just
cheap brand thing,
battery powered
Matchbox,
like one of those 3-wheelers or whatever they are, and he stuck a car battery in it.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty great.
Here you go, kids. It's not this thing. It goes 5 miles an hour. It goes 50.
I still don't think it didn't go that fast, but it did go a lot faster than a Power Wheels was supposed to.
That's pretty cool.
Like, what the
hell? It's just almost like a go-kart at that point.
Get it up to like 15 miles an hour.
My dad he built his own go-kart one time, just for fun. Like he had this welder and welded a big steel frame together and had these like gigantic tires on it. It was probably a street legal go-kart, or it would have been, if you know.
Well, I remember one that
it probably could have been
for a while.
It would have been fast enough to be street legal, but it totally wasn't legal. And then he ended up selling it to somebody because we needed money or something. I don't know. But,
yeah, Scott's go-kart was fun.
Yeah,
especially out where they live, you know, there's plenty of room to just drive around all the roads because there's no one out there and it's in the middle of the forest.
Theirs was a stock go-kart though, so it's still pretty. I think it could maybe go 30.
Yeah, I don't know. It went pretty fast.
Decent clip.
Keith driving it that one time nearly impaled us on a stick. It's like he was flying down the dirt road, and then it was like right after a storm. There was like branches everywhere. We're driving along, this giant stick just like slams into the front end, like right between our legs, and it like would have like really dealt damage if it hit us.
Did that one actually had a motor, didn't it, or was it just a battery?
It was a motor. I'm pretty sure it used gas. So,
yeah,
it was an actual
refill
gas.
it with gas every now and then.
I can't remember what happened there.
Sucked it up like.
There was a time where Scott and I were. I think it just couldn't handle it. We were driving that go-kart around his back roads somewhere, and we started going up this really steep hill, and it just couldn't handle it. It just stopped dead in the middle of the hill, and we had to push it the rest of the way up.
Yeah. It's like, oh man.
Well, we wanted to get to the top of the hill so we could drive back down.
Come back down. Yeah, who wants to push it up the hill to ride down? Drive up the hill.
So we drove up about halfway, and it just stopped dead, and then we pushed it the rest of the way so we could go down the hill.
At least you didn't have to walk up the whole thing.
Yeah, but it was Yeah, it was a pretty weak motor.
Yeah, I remember it was fun. Like the thing was like you could only seat 2. We'd go out for a ride or something. Sometimes they'd take their cat with them because
Oh yeah,
Toby.
Toby loved that go-kart.
Yeah, but like it was funny. Like I remember one time we were going out, and I don't remember. I think I might have went with Scott, but then like their dad came out, and it's like, I don't know. He was all bent out of shape about something. Like, oh, only Scott better drive it because, I wasn't, 18 with a driver's license. I guess he was worried I was going to flip it and kill him or something. It's like, all right. It's like, you better not be driving that thing unless you're okay, whatever, Dad. And so we leave and we get like a little ways from the house, and Scott's like, you want to drive? It's like, sure. So we went down some like dirt side road that loops around where the river was down there before anyone lived down there. It was pretty fun because you could go pretty fast out in the open. There was this one like bump, like significant bump like in the middle of one of the dirt paths, and if you hit it just right you could jump in the air like 3 feet and just keep going. It was great.
I think they stopped riding it because the bottom sheet of metal, the weld broke or something. And it was just hanging there, and I think
they ended up selling it or something.
Yeah, they sold it.
Yeah, there was a point where I was talking to them about I could bring my dad's welder and we could try and fix it, but that never happened. We kept forgetting or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was fun.
Yeah, our cousin, her husband, like made go-karts and like sold them. And one time we went over to their place, and he had one, and it's like, here, you want to play on it all day? And it's like, okay, cool. There's this big open field, and we were basically just drove it for like hours on end, just tearing around this field. It was fun.
Yeah, the one my dad built was like shaped like a race car. Didn't like Scott's had that big goofy. It looked like a golf cart kind of.
Yeah, kind of like
shape.
Yeah, with a giant cage on top.
My dad's was like actually aerodynamic roll cage. Looked like a race car. I think he put a real car seat in it. It was pretty crazy. I went for a ride in it a couple times, but I was way too young to actually drive that thing. That was a beast.
Some of these are funny.
Did you just pick a card and then
random cards against humanity?
How did I lose my virginity? The invisible hand. That one's pretty great.
Gross.
What ended my last relationship? Waking
Sonic
up
3D
half
Blast.
naked in a Denny's parking lot.
Yeah, that sounds similar to the place where I work.
This one made
foodery.
sense. Step 1, anal beads. Step 2, a man on the brink of orgasm. Step 3, profit. And that was just random.
That's cool.
Man, that game lends itself to some very unfortunate things.
Yeah.
Speaking of unfortunate things, where the hell did Patrick go?
I don't know. He's talking
still pooping.
He's talking to somebody that's gonna make him happy later.
Oh boy.
I don't know if that's true.
It's gonna be profit in the future for him.
Step 1.
We need him here to give us things to talk about.
I have things to talk about. So, I like Sonic games. Do you know?
Well, how about you switch from Sonic to Castlevania?
Oh no.
There's something that'll take all night.
Yeah, talk about Castlevania, Jason.
Which one?
All of them.
Oh, okay.
And how they keep trying to come up with different ways to how Dracula started and all the games.
They only did it twice, but
Only
anyway,
twice.
the first Castlevania was for the Famicom, or Nintendo Entertainment System, as known here in the colonies.
I like Simon's Quest.
Yeah. Now probably like half the world is gone, Simon's Quest, gross. But yeah, no, see, they had the first Castlevania, it's fun, whatever. But then they had the MSX, and that version was called Vampire Killer, and it was more or less the same structure as the first Castlevania. It had like similar levels and music, and the graphics were the same. But it was more of like a hide-and-seek sort of type of game. Like, you had to break hidden walls, and you would find people in them. Like, you thought finding the food in the walls is weird. There was just
find whole people.
You just break open a wall and there was like a dude in the robe just standing there like, yo, and you would talk to him and he would give you items. Like, it was a weird like little, it wasn't like a trading sequence. It was more like he would just give you something. It was interesting because you had to find like hidden keys throughout the level. It was a little non-linear in that fashion. You get the keys and then you would go to the next stage. It was kind of interesting. I don't think they ever put it on anything other than the MSX. It's not like Metal Gear that got popular enough it was on like other things, but yeah, so there's that. And yeah, Castlevania 2 was fun though.
Yeah,
that was the one we had, and it was fun because it was an adventure game, and I like adventure games.
Yeah, that's why I liked
First
it.
one you guys played?
Yeah, that's the first one we had.
Sure, probably biased because Zelda 2 was the first Zelda game we ever played, and I really like Zelda 2, and most people were like, yeah, man, it's nothing like the original, it's stupid. But no, it's fun, and Castlevania 2 was fun.
Yeah, I never cared for the first Castlevania because it was, time to get through the level, you got the time limit, and it's like...
You die, you lose all your items.
Like, that wasn't as much fun. I like to take your time to explore.
It was cool. Like in Castlevania 2, you could actually get experience in a fashion. Like you would get hearts, which is money, and buy weapons and all that. But you could also, if you killed enough enemies, you pick up their hearts. It would also give you experience, and you would get experience, go up in level, and it would just give you more health, basically. Mm-hmm. But it was the first Castlevania to have levels, experience. Non-linear exploration. Like people love games like Metroid,
and ever since the Symphony of the Night and stuff that
was the one that popularized
that type of
like every
gameplay,
Castlevania since was like Symphony of the Night, which is fine.
The second Castlevania was the original one like that. Just people didn't like it.
And then of course they went and made those weird Lords of Shadow games, which are like God of War style action games. I have the first one. I played it a bit. It was all right, but then they changed the origin of all the characters. The story was its own weird, different thing. I didn't really like it, and I guess they're done with Lords of Shadow now. They're not doing another one, which, whatever. And I actually wanted to kind of play the 3DS for one they made in that series because even though I don't give two hot poops about the story, the 3DS one was a side-scroller. It was actually set up almost exactly like the old Metroid games. You had a map, you had to explore and find hidden rooms and get power-ups, so that's cool. I like that type of game. Mm-hmm. And they need to do that more. Yeah, but, I mean, as far as Castlevanias, they're, the old twitchy action type games, like Super Castlevania 4 is definitely the best. Like, that game is just about perfect. The music is fantastic. The graphics were so good. No two levels look the same. The control is perfect. You weren't stuck, with that weird, solid, stiff jump forward, and he's stuck jumping forward until he hits the ground. Like, you could control your jumps in midair, and you could control the whip. Like, you could hold it out and swing it around, and that was the key thing, the control. It was just about perfect, and the game is so good. It's just a complete package. Anyone who has not played Castlevania 4 should, because it's great.
What's the
Castlevania 4?
Yeah, Super Castlevania 4.
Oh, pardon me.
You guys were talking for a while.
Yes, Mr. Moderator.
Yay. Hello.
We were saying
you need to regulate, otherwise we're gonna go crazy and say stupid stuff.
We told everybody that you were probably talking to somebody that's going to make you happy later.
And you're going to profit later.
And pooping.
And pooping, yes.
Did some random Cards Against Humanity questions and answers.
I talked a lot about games more
sense.
because... Why not?
We just mentioned Castlevania, and it made Jason say things for a long time.
Although I could talk about a current event that is...
Sonic and put him on Castlevania.
Actually, yeah, we haven't talked about what games you have played recently, Patrick.
Oh, what games have I played recently?
Aside from Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur?
No!
Okay.
Well, I mean, what else have you played recently that... anything. Even if it's a while.
I haven't really even played a lot of games recently. I've been just kind of, I don't know, just hanging out with people and stuff, and so I haven't really had a chance to I just realized that recently I can't when I play a video game I often just basically get very bored very easily unless I'm playing with you guys. Basically the one day a week that we play is the only time that I actually play video games anymore. So, like, that's pretty much, yeah. But I don't know. Like, so I haven't really been into anything. I've been kind of playing GTA 5 a little bit. I'm really behind.
I never even
I'd
really
like to
played
play
past
Grand Theft Auto 5.
I never
That
really
looked
played
great.
past San
Yeah,
Andreas.
it's
so.
awesome. I mean, those games are like, basically, I don't know. Those games are still pretty good. I follow those games because I like, they're kind of complete, like, action-y experiences that are.
I love
really
San
fun.
Andreas. I mean, I played through that so many times, but all the other ones I never really got into.
Played
Yeah.
4 a little bit. And it was fine, but it's weird because
Yeah.
San Andreas was so crazy.
Yeah.
And then you play 4, and like the character is more grounded in like the whole story and setting seemed more grounded in reality. So you kind of felt bad. Like I don't think once I ever stole a car in Grand Theft Auto 4 just because I felt bad for like this guy wouldn't steal a car. He's trying to do something.
Totally. It kind of makes you feel more like the world is
He's
real.
not like some drug crazed like gang dude. He's like just a normal like immigrant.
Right. And it has like this kind of like starting with 4, they really started to go with this really kind of dark, like serious tone. And it really had a very, I don't know, it was extremely moving, like right at the end. The story, the way it all wraps up is like really powerful. And so, GTA 5, I've just been kind of plugging away at that because that's like an easy game to pick up and play. And you don't even have to really figure out the storyline before. Like, you don't really, it's okay to play like every once in a while and not really be able to like follow every little detail. And it's just kind of fun to mess around with too. So,
Yeah,
I don't know, that's one game that can hold my attention for longer than most games right now.
And everything I've seen about the game just looks great. Like all the characters and the
amazing.
setting, and even not considering that new release that's even better looking because I don't have the new consoles or whatever.
And it's out for like, already PS4 right now, and they're going to be releasing it for PC soon, or maybe they already have.
Yeah, I think like
basically
February they said.
It's like there's these better looking versions of the game and stuff, and I still just have a PS3, so like I'm just playing the PS3 version.
I don't even
Yeah,
have
even
that
that's
much.
probably fine. Like get it on. Like we can get it on the Xbox
Yeah.
360. I'm sure that's fine.
I mean, I have like this version that I kind of got upset about because like I saw it on sale on PS3 online, and it was like $30 or something, which was pretty good. Like, I mean, it usually is like a $60 game, or it was, and they actually sell it at the local game store for $30, the disc version. Now the thing is, I got upset when I saw the disc version in the store for $30 because the disc version, like, actually, well, I mean, when the game came out, at least, it ran considerably better than the version that is the downloadable version, because the downloadable version has to work off of the hard drive inside the PS3, which is a slower disk system than the
actual
than the Blu-ray
disc.
player that's in the PS3. So it loads textures way slower than.
So it's actually faster to have the CD.
It's actually faster to have the CD in the machine,
wow.
than to have the installed version.
Weird.
Now they might have fixed that somehow with patches. I haven't really been noticing anything, but really I haven't compared either.
Well, that's kind of like Skyrim, because on my one Xbox, I have it installed on the hard drive.
Yeah.
And then I've been playing on my other Xbox, which doesn't have a hard drive in it, so I couldn't install the game. And I've noticed like way longer load times and everything. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of weird that it would run faster with the disc than that instead of the hard drive.
Yeah, and Skyrim's another one I keep starting again, and like that one I'm trying to get into. I started a new game in Skyrim because my old game I never finished, and like I don't remember any of the story of that. Like when I started that game, and I had got that game like a year, or I got that game as a gift like a year after that game came out. And then like when did that game come out? Like I don't know, like 2008 or something, or like
it came out a few years ago because everybody
it feels like it was a hell of a long ago.
Yeah, everybody on Truck Crew was all playing it and talking about it at the same time, so it was like 3 years ago maybe.
Right.
But,
yeah. So basically, it came out like a while ago, and I didn't get it till a year after, and then like it took me like I still only got like maybe almost halfway through it, and then I'm like, okay, I felt like playing it recently, and I was like, I don't want to play my old character because like, I
you don't remember anything.
Don't remember anything.
Even I have the same exact problem.
I've got
play a game for a while, stop playing it, and then I won't pick it up again for so long. So at that point, I don't remember anything, and my options are either start over and lose all my progress, or keep playing and not remember what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I've got like 4 characters now. 2 of them on one Xbox, another one on the other, and then I just got the computer version, so I just started a 4th character. But on not a single one of those characters have I actually beaten the main storyline in the game. It's
That
like
surprises me.
But whereas with like the 3rd game, Morrowind, I played every quest on everything like 30 times over.
Right.
That's why it surprises me.
But even Skyrim is like, I play it, and then it's like I never end up beating it, and it's
Yeah, you don't need to beat the games to really fully enjoy them, I guess, sometimes. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, those games are so big and
The
ridiculous.
same thing happens to me with Dragon Age. I started it twice, and I feel like I'm getting really far into it, but then something always happens. Like the first time, the computer crapped out,
Yeah.
got some crazy virus, and had to
Yeah.
lose everything.
Yeah.
And then the second time, I don't remember. I think I got to a quest where it kept glitching, and I couldn't. It was impossible for me to finish it.
Yeah.
Great.
And I think I screwed myself by saving over a save that
Something
was
that was
outside
further
of
back.
Yeah.
I hear that's like an issue now with newer games. Like, it's like more common now, at least in the last year, that like games are more broken.
God, yeah, last
Yeah,
year, all
you-
those games that released,
lots
and like
of
every single one of them has
glitches
some
and
kind
other
of
things that are
broken
just-
ass problem. I don't even know if that Halo collection still has its multiplayer fixed.
Yeah.
It's like last year in particular was just bad for releases.
Yeah, they're just getting to the point where they just want to rush the release and
Yeah.
don't test
They
everything.
put it
and
out
fix it
so
all.
fast, and then it's like, oh, if there's something wrong, we'll patch it later. But having that kind of mindset from the start, it's like, of course it's gonna suck. You're half-assing it because you figure, I'll just fix it later because patches. Imagine 10, 15 years ago, a game came out, that was it. Like, there was no, like, if you got an N64 game, it was like, oh, there's some crazy, horrible game-ending glitch in it. Well, I'll just wait for it to get patched. Nope, that was it, one and done. So they had to do it right the first time, the game developers.
Right.
And in that fashion, they did a better job.
Right.
They were more careful about it. It's just gotten insane.
Games are so much bigger now, especially like those Oblivion games. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, that's.
And of course, games that big, there's going to be something no one can
Right.
find.
Yeah,
every
Yeah,
little
that's
thing.
why with those types of games nowadays, it's like I have like 10 save files for just one character. It's like I got the save file at my base, and then the save file while I'm before I go in a dungeon, then like 2 or 3 while I'm going through the dungeon.
Yeah.
Right.
Then the ones after the dungeon, and then when I get back to my base, I'll put everything away and then save over the base save again and just rinse and repeat. But
Yeah.
that way, there's been so many times where I've had to go back to an old save and like lose hours of gameplay just because of some glitch or something else that screwed up,
Right.
and have to go back to fix it.
Right.
Of course, it's understandable. Like I said, those games are huge. No one can find every little glitch. But then when
Right.
it's the Halo collection, like, these are games that have already been out for years on other platforms.
Right. Like the Halo
They
collection
should
is
already
like
be...
that whole multiplayer system.
You can
is
already
completely
play these
broken.
multiplayer on these other Halo games. Like, you couldn't give the people something that already exists in a playable, just fine format.
Right. Right.
Like, what the hell?
Right.
And then all their weird, the companies, like, half-assed apologies, like, we understand that we're wanting your players to experience the full Halo package, and we haven't been at it. It's like, oh my god, they're just passing the blame to whoever can give the sappiest who gives a fuck apology.
Right.
The mentality of it is just sickening. It's like, they don't give a shit, why should we?
Yeah. I'm trying to
Man.
think of what kind of good movies I've seen or anything, because basically I spend most of my time watching movies. And
Oh, yeah, I watched that Paprika.
Oh, what? Like, yeah.
Oh, did you like it?
that was pretty
Yeah,
awesome. I barely remember
Paprika is an anime.
that.
I don't know when it was
what do you
made.
think of the animation, man?
Oh, the animation was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, the story I didn't think was anything great. Like,
What's the synopsis of the story, as far as you could tell?
alright, so, like, these scientists or whatever, or 8 scientists, they've made these little devices that you can wear on your head that actually allow other people to go into other people's dreams.
Yeah.
And by going into their dreams, they can even, like, see the dreams, like, on a computer, like, attach it to a laptop, and while the
they're
dream
trying
is
to
playing out,
wait,
they
you
can
say that
see
they're
the
trying to
dream.
help them psychologically by going into their dreams? Is that
Yeah,
the
so
idea?
if
Okay, all right.
a person
That'd
has
be
a
cool
problem
for dreams,
psychologically, or they're trying to figure out something else, if they have like a recurring dream, they have these people that will wear the Dream Share device. They call a DC. They call it stands for
DC
something.
Mini.
Yeah. So they wear them and they try and help them that way. But then someone starts like using one of the DCs to like screw with people's dreams, like an act of terrorism.
Kind of like
He's-
hacking their dreams.
yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
And he's like breaking the people's psyches. Like some people are going completely insane and they're like running around the
Yeah.
world
Oh,
shouting
right.
random
Yeah,
nonsense.
people who have used the DC Mini to go into other people's dreams, he can now force them to experience the dream while they're awake.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they think they're running through the dream, and they're actually running through the real world and like injuring
right. Or
people and
vice
stuff.
versa.
I barely
Towards the end,
it was
gets
like years ago that I
kinda
saw it,
wacky.
and I just remember the animation was just unbelievable.
Yeah, the animation was the highlight because it's pretty good.
animating all those dreams is like freaking ridiculous.
I think
like,
Akira was a bit better, especially since Akira was way more detailed, especially like the lip
and you
the
know,
mouth.
all hand drawn, and it's like
Yeah, it was all hand drawn, but specifically the things that people were saying, the animation was matched up to their voices,
right.
and not so with it Paprika,
Oh,
but
okay, yeah.
it was still really good. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, the story was okay. Towards the end, like it gets all crazy. The dream worlds start like colliding into the real world, and a bunch of nonsense happens, and whatever. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. It was interesting. I don't really go out of my way to watch like lots of crazy, weird, different anime I haven't seen before, but that one was pretty good. That and Akira, Akira was great.
So what's your favorite anime film? Do you have a favorite, or do you know?
Or
do you have a
even
favorite?
series. Doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a movie.
Oh, okay, yeah. Or
I know series that as far as film goes, I still really like that Street Fighter 2 animated movie. Like
yeah,
that
that's cool.
one.
I still gotta watch that. You lent that to me, and I still gotta watch it.
That one is still
Of course,
one of my favorites.
there's always
I used to
Lensman.
watch it like once a day for like a year. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh wow.
Of course, we liked Lensman because
Yeah, Lensman
that
was
was,
the first one we ever
that was
saw.
something we had growing up.
Still gotta watch
We actually
Lensman.
had to tape. And
Right.
that was like the first. We didn't even know what an anime was back then. It was just a cartoon. I mean, we were watching that, and yeah, I really liked that. But the ones I like the most so far are the Elfen Lied or Lied or however you want to it's pronounced. That one was pretty cool. But then of course I like Bleach is like the only thing that I more mainstream that I watched, but I haven't seen any of that in forever because stores are stupid and can't carry like the whole series in order, and it's like, oh, here's a DVD of a couple episodes, and then you wait a few months, and then here's another one, but it's like skipped like 10 episodes. It's like, what happened?
I hate when the when they have a series where they split the episodes into like 4 per DVD, and you only get 1 DVD in the package, and you're going, man, there's like hundreds of episodes of this show, and I'm only getting 4.
Yeah, it's like, here's episodes 16 through 22. It's like, god damn it.
Yeah, and then there's like the whole thing with the recap thing they get a little overboard with. It's like,
at the start of the episode, here's what happened last time. And
this
it's
episode
like
because
7 minutes of last episodes. It's like, come on.
It's
like 20 seconds is fine if you have to do that, but
Bleach is really bad about that because it's like you'll watch
filler
10
at this
minutes
point.
of the stuff that happened that I've already watched.
and they do it because it's filler.
I understand why they used to do the whole here's what happened last week because
it used
they
to be
had
a
an
weekly
episode
show.
a week. But I think they should just cut that out on the DVD version.
Yeah, on DVDs and
Watching them
stuff,
back
they
to
should. They
back,
should just like
it's-
cut that out because, gee, you're watching them all in order. You got them all right there in order. It's like you don't need a refresher. You just watched it.
Yeah. Or at the very least, like, make it that part a separate chapter so you can just, like, hit the skip the next chapter button and now you're at the
There you
new
go.
content of
That
the
would
new
work
episode.
fine too. I mean, because there'd probably be some people that would get butthurt about it because the original version had this is what happened
It's not
last week.
faithful to the original. And, yeah. I mean, there's always that. And, of course, there's always the opening and ending, like, themes, like the credits or whatever, and they always have, like, songs. Like, even if I've seen it a billion times, when I watch anime, I always like watching the opening and ending themes.
Well, it gets
like
you
singing
you
along.
pumped up for the the episode.
Yeah, no,
I still do that too. I'll
puts you
skip.
in the right mindset.
Sometimes I'll skip the end credits because unless the song's really good.
Well, I
But,
might watch.
that's
I might
their thing,
the
all the stuff
opening
I
or
see
the
that I
ending.
like the
I'll
music.
watch them like once, and then when the next episode starts, oh, it's the same one I already watched. Okay, skip. Get to the show.
Yeah.
But when it like changes something, I might watch it once, and it's like, okay.
I've
that's
learned the
fine.
lyrics
Next.
to way too many of these Japanese songs that they use.
And
And not just the versions that are like a minute for the credits. Like I download and listen to the entire song and I know all the lyrics.
Here, Jason, I'm gonna put this trailer on mute and I want you to tell me how good this movie's gonna be.
But it's been approved for all audiences.
That means it can't be good.
What does it look like?
I might have seen this. It's like, something about the internet or whatever, right? Like Facebook.
Okay.
It makes me sad to watch this trailer.
Yeah.
What is the movie about?
Christ.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let me guess.
good.
It's sort of based on a real story, which, you know, it's internet, Facebook, like some posting of something that ruined someone's. Yeah, it's always based on whatever stupid.
Did you hear that like Marvel's like in like some dispute with like Fox, and they might actually just stop making Marvel comics just so Fox, 20th Century Fox, doesn't have new material to use
For
Wait,
X-Men movies.
What do you
That
mean
would
stop
be
making
pretty
Marvel
ridiculous.
Fox holds
they
the
were
rights to make X-Men movies.
Yeah, and so there's no new X-Men
Yeah.
ever because
Yeah. Oh crap! Hold on, just a sec.
we run out of
I think we're good. I think we're good.
recording.
Still going.
That one's still going?
This one's still good.
Oh, yeah.
But all right, here you keep going there.
Okay.
Keep
You
going
need to
there.
plug that other one into a wall or something.
No.
Battery died.
I just hope we got it. I just hope we got it.
But yeah, I was reading online. It was like
Because you'll get to go back and listen to all of this and make sure it's okay.
they weren't allowing them to make any of the writers to make any new X-Men because then Fox could use them in their movies or whatnot. And they were doing the same thing with Fantastic Four was gonna like end. They're like stopping the comic.
Oh,
So
no. How will I
there's
ever
like
live?
nothing. And it's like really weird.
There's these really long-standing
Yeah, it's
franchises
like
that should never
things
go
that
away.
have gone forever, and they're just like
Just
gonna
'cause it's
stop
movie
them
rights.
because they're for the movies. It's
Ugh.
like
Does Fox basically have rights to any X-Men material that's
Yeah,
Marvel
that's
makes?
why there's no like X-Men in any of the Avengers stuff, because even though like Wolverine and stuff is an Avenger, they can't do that because Fox owns the rights to the X-Men movies, and then like Sony Pictures owns the rights to Spider-Man, and then basically like Marvel has everything else still because they realize they want to have their characters to make movies, because otherwise this exact thing happens.
yeah, I heard that Spider-Man was getting bought up by one of the others or something, so they might reboot it again or something like that. And of course, then now they're rebooting the Fantastic Four again.
Looks fucking terrible.
I mean, I saw the first Fantastic Four. I didn't see the Silver Surfer one, but I mean, it was all right. I mean, I don't see why they reboot it again. And
I've never really been
Sad
a
noises.
yeah, I never really
I've
cared
never
much
been a
about
fan of
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four.
I don't either. Like, at all, but
Growing up, it was always the X-Men cartoon
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
on
we had-
every afternoon
we liked the
and
X-Men.
whatever. And that's
that
what we
Fantastic
watched.
Four cartoon isn't very good anyway. It's Hanna-Barbera quality. It's not good.
Is that a new cartoon?
no, it was
No, the old one.
The old Fantastic
Just
Four.
really poor animation.
Like I didn't even watch the old Spider-Man cartoon. It was like the X-Men one was like the only one I watched. And
yeah.
This is an X-Men house. We don't have no
The-
Spady man.
Main superhero cartoon I watched was Batman the Animated Series, and that was pretty much it.
yeah, I
Same
didn't
that
even
I
watch,
watched
I didn't
the
even watch
Batman
that
one.
one that much, but I did see a lot of the Batman Beyond one. When that one came out, I saw like probably the first season of that.
Animated series is really good. If you like Batman Beyond, I'm sure you'd like Batman Animated Series.
So how should we wrap it up? Do you guys want to wrap it up, or what do you feel like?
I have one more current event to sort of bitch about, but it'll probably just make me sad.
Wrap it up and play some D&D or something.
Okay.
We'll have to record ourselves playing D&D at one point because we have very
Hello.
interesting characters.
Hello, I'm recording again. That's a podcast.
He's yelling into a different microphone.
We did a podcast. Yay! Okay.
Hooray!
So,
Maybe 5 years from
now
now
you
we'll
just
look
have
back
to
and
do.
go, wow, we sure did
what's
suck.
the last segment? What do we do? What do we say? What do we do? I don't know. What do we
I guess whatever we plan on doing, like maybe playing a game. I started playing.
Here's a segment. Mega Man Sonic comic update. What happened last issue?
What?
Okay, never mind.
There's... Oh, in the comics? Yeah, so the Mega Man 1's doing the storyline currently from Mega Man 3, and Sonic is sort of doing its thing it's been doing the past lots of issues where it's like the Sonic Unleashed story, kind of.
Wow, what a cliffhanger. Okay.
What?
See you next
Are
week.
you on drugs? Alright,
Bye.
bye.
We're done.